The unveiling of the F-47 sixth-generation fighter jet was intended to mark a historic leap in air combat technology. With its angular stealth design, AI-assisted flight capabilities, and long-range autonomous operation, the F-47 was heralded as a symbol of military superiority and technological dominance. Yet, beneath the surface of this sleek, multi-billion-dollar aircraft lies a growing unease among defense analysts, aerospace engineers, and even some military officials. Many are now asking a difficult question: has the F-47 become a strategic misstep? The United States has led every generation of combat aircraft since World War II, and each new iteration has fundamentally reshaped how wars are fought in the air. The F-47, conceived as a quantum leap beyond the F-22 and F-35, was designed to function as a combat nexus, integrating satellite networks, drones, and cyber warfare capabilities into a single platform. It is more than a fighter jet, it's a flying data hub, surveillance system, and command center. But while the promise is revolutionary, the practicality is proving problematic. At the heart of the controversy is the aircraft's extraordinary complexity. The F-47 features a proprietary AI battle management system that continuously analyzes thousands of variables mid-flight: target threats, weather patterns, electronic warfare signals, and the status of friendly and enemy forces. However, multiple defense contractors involved in the project have raised concerns about over-dependence on artificial intelligence. One engineer, speaking under condition of anonymity, described the system as impressively powerful, yet dangerously opaque. The pilot, while still technically in control, is often reduced to a supervisory role. This raises critical questions about accountability in combat scenarios. What happens when the AI makes a lethal error? Compounding these concerns is the jet's cost. Each F-47 is projected to exceed $380 million in unit cost when including R&D and procurement expenses. This price tag dwarfs that of the already expensive F-35 and places severe strain on defense budgets. Several allies have backed away from early joint procurement plans, citing financial infeasibility. With the Pentagon preparing to order fewer jets than initially planned, critics argue the F-47 risks becoming a boutique weapon, highly advanced, but too scarce to shift the strategic balance. Furthermore, there's mounting skepticism about the F-47's relevance in the modern battlefield. The aircraft was developed with great power conflicts in mind: dogfights over the Pacific, long-range strikes into hostile airspace, but the nature of warfare is evolving. Drones, cyber weapons, and low-cost anti-air systems are increasingly dominant. In Ukraine, for instance, cheap unmanned aerial vehicles have devastated expensive hardware. Many strategists question whether investing in such a costly, manned aircraft makes sense in an era where swarm drones and hypersonic missiles may dictate the tempo of war. Another red flag is the aircraft's maintenance demands. Like its predecessors, the F-47 is packed with bleeding-edge technology that makes routine upkeep a logistical nightmare. The stealth coating, for example, requires precise climate-controlled conditions during repairs, and the AI systems must be constantly updated and recalibrated to counter rapidly evolving threats. This not only limits the number of operational sorties the aircraft can fly but also creates significant vulnerabilities. In the event of a large-scale conflict, sustaining F-47 operations could become an Achilles heel. Security analysts also point to the risk of cyber intrusion. As the F-47 becomes more integrated into a networked battlespace, it becomes a more attractive target for adversarial cyberattacks. The aircraft's data-linked systems, onboard AI, and remote command features all present unique attack surfaces. While the developers insist the platform is hardened against such threats, no system is entirely immune. In simulated war games, red teams have occasionally succeeded in jamming or spoofing the F-47 sensors, leading to mission-critical confusion. A compromised F-47 doesn't just fail, it potentially becomes a vector of misinformation or, worse, a weapon turned against its own forces. These issues have begun to divide the defense community. Proponents of the jet argue that the cost and complexity are justified, given the future threat environment. They assert that only by investing in technologies like the F-47 can the U.S. maintain its air superiority against rising adversaries such as China and Russia. They point to the aircraft's unparalleled situational awareness, its ability to command drone swarms, and its versatility across theaters. From deep strike missions to electronic warfare to space integration, the F-47 is meant to be a master of all domains. But skeptics argue that the very ambition of the F-47 may be its undoing. Instead of a focused, flexible, and cost-effective platform, the military has created a Frankenstein's monster, brilliant in concept but unwieldy in execution. They advocate for a diversified strategy, a mix of unmanned systems, hypersonic interceptors, and retrofitted legacy aircraft that can be deployed at scale and without the immense costs of 6th-gen platforms. The debate is far from settled. With initial deployment slated for the early 2030s and continued testing underway, time will tell whether the F-47 will redefine aerial warfare or become a cautionary tale in overengineering. What is clear, however, is that the growing unease among experts is not rooted in skepticism of innovation, but in concern over how innovation is being prioritized. In the quest to dominate the skies, the United States may have placed too many bets on a singular, exorbitantly expensive solution. In the end, the F-47 may still fly high as a technological marvel, a symbol of what's possible when defense budgets and engineering ambition collide. But if its strategic assumptions fail to match the battlefield realities of tomorrow, it might also come to represent something else, a sobering lesson in the limits of power, and the unintended costs of being first in a race no one else was running.